All right. Well, guys, welcome to this live video for today. Today, I'm actually going to briefly go over who actually owns your house. Let me just make sure I got the mic all set up so it set it up so it's not like coming into the video or anything. Okay, and let's get all that set up. All right, beautiful. All right, so the question is, who actually owns your house? So I was actually writing up an article today, and I'll post a link to it in the comments below once this video is posted. But I started reviewing some articles and thought, who actually owns your house? And a lot of people think that they do. They say, oh, look, well, I'm paying my mortgage payment. I am, doing everything I need to do. I bought it, or even I paid it off completely. And they still say that they owned it. Well, here's the spoiler. You don't. No matter what you do, you never actually fully own your house. Now, how does that work? So let's say you take out a loan on it. That's the most obvious thing that you're going to do. If you are purchasing a property and you're taking out a mortgage, well, that means you're going to be making payments over time. And over time, you're eventually going to pay it off after 30 years. Well, until you pay it off, if you miss 1, 2, or 3 of those payments, what the bank is going to do, or the lender, is they actually have what's called a deed of trust on your property. Now, a deed of trust on the property means that it's filed with the courthouse, and it says that if you default on your obligation, i.e. stop making your mortgage payments or miss too many of them, the bank or lender can, either with or without the court system, it depends on your state, but they can literally take that property back from you and then resell it on the market. All right. And that allows them to get their money back. So if you have a mortgage on the property, you do not own it, period. You have equity in it. And what do I mean by equity? That means that if your house is worth $100,000 and you have a mortgage on it for $80,000, well, that means that you have $20,000 of equity in that property. Fair enough? So you do have that. But so when it comes to foreclosure and stopping foreclosure, if you have, this is a side note, if you are having an issue with that, because obviously the stop in foreclosure has ceased, the stop on payments has ceased for the whole COVID-19 thing. So if you are behind on your payments, you need to know your options. So definitely reach out and give us a call. Just a side note. But anyway, so let's go into the second person who actually owns your property. Well, let's say you've paid it off free and clear, right? And obviously, you don't have to answer to anyone ever again, right? You just own it and that's it. Wrong. The tax assessor owns your property. Yes, the government owns it. What do I mean by that? Well, every single year, you're going to pay what's called taxes, property taxes on your property. And let's say you decide not to pay those taxes. And a lot of the properties that I work with, they have 2, 3, one of them had $14,000 of taxes on it that had not been paid. Well, here in Pitt County, North Carolina, they're really slack about that. I don't know why, but they are really slack about it, so they're not actually foreclosing on them. But if you're behind on your your taxes, then they can actually take that property to you through a tax foreclosure, meaning they just yank that property, sell it off, and they get their money out of it. All right. So those are two organizations are the ones who actually own your property. Now, if you're looking for, to do something or buy something that you actually own, all right, you're going to want to look into something like precious metals, gold and silver. The reason is because once you own a silver bullion or a gold round, then you officially own it and no one can take it from you. What that's called, if they can take it from you, or the value of, let's say, your property or your stock is reliant on somebody else, that's called counterparty risk. So when it comes to stocks, let's say you buy a stock or a mutual fund. Well, the value of that stock is fully dependent on how well some people run their company. And they may run it like complete garbage. Apparently, I'm receiving a call. Never mind. The computer behind me was receiving a call. But the value of that stock is completely dependent on how well that company is being run. That is counterparty risk. If you own a piece of real estate and you have a mortgage on it, that is counterparty risk. Okay. And on top, even if the dollar, if you look at the top of a dollar bill, you're going to see up there Federal Reserve note. What that means is you hold a liability, or the Federal Reserve has lent you one piece of paper that you can use to purchase things, right? And that has massive counterparty risk because the Fed has complete control of it. And of course, they're destroying the dollar anyway. And so precious metals aren't a bad thing to own in general. Side note on that too, if a piece of gold, if gold's price goes up, the price of gold is not going, or the value of gold is not going up. Gold has what's called intrinsic value that never changes. If the price is going up or down, that is because the dollar is getting stronger or weaker. So right now, as you can see, I think, let's check out gold really quick. Got money metals right here. These are the guys I get silver through all the time. Okay, so gold's at $1,992 and silver's at $2,754. Prior to that, a few months ago, gold was hanging out around like $1,500. All right. Well, what that means is that the dollar since a few months ago has gotten weaker, so it takes more of them to buy gold. Anyway, that was a complete detachment from what I was supposed to talk about, but I hope this helps you guys understand that even if you think you own your property, you really don't. So always make sure that you're taking care and paying your stuff on time. If you need to sell your house, give us a call because we are definitely looking in the area. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.